Welcome back, welcome in. Let me begin. Season 3, DGNYC with the big man, Yinzy F baby.
Who
And
thought we'd
me.
be here?
Oh man.
Not me.
No, I didn't
Not
think you'd be
me.
here. No.
Not me. I didn't think we'd be here season three. Frankie Dimes, what's new? What's new, brother?
Frankie Dimes, after the season that we had last year, and after I've continued my quest of living and working in the beautiful metropolis of New York City, my
Yep.
name might be upgraded from Frankie Dimes to Frankie Millions.
It's a bold claim.
Now, people at work are calling me Frankie Mills, Frankie Millions. That's what they're just saying at work. Okay. But
Strong claim.
The Dimes man, the part of me, he still exists, but
What did we end up last year? We end up I think we were up over
over 40 units.
over about 40 units. So it was another successful year. I mean, it was incredible. Like when I went back, I know I went back to like I think I listened to the last episode just to get a scope of what we were at. An electric heater from both of us. I think you've put a lot more studying in this year. I have been a little slammed. That doesn't mean I'm not as prepared. I think I'm going to go for a little bit more feel over knowledge this year, but that's okay. That's where I've done some of my best work. I'm going back to the basics, back to the roots, but that
Okay.
doesn't mean I haven't been putting the work in.
Okay. The
Doesn't
Roots.
mean so like
Questlove over here. Okay.
Quest love. Frankie's been putting in the work, but I've still found a lot of value. So for today, I think we're going to be doing a little bit of futures, a little
Yeah.
bit of week zero.
There's the week zero, folks. It
It,
stinks.
there's
It's bad.
there's four, really three games, really two games.
It's actually
So,
bad.
yeah, it's terrible. It's pretty awful. I found a few nuggets, a few things I like. But just to get going, I mean, like just to catch the people up, Frankie, tell them what you've been doing, tell them what's new.
Yeah.
Um,
Off season has been it's been a long, hard off season. And after the success that we had last year, I made sure to really revel in the fact that we had probably the best college football year out of any podcast in the world, and we didn't tell anyone about the podcast. And I think that's fun. I think that's fun.
some people would say that's a way to put it. Fun.
Yeah.
That's a way to put
Well,
it.
I did not as much traveling as I'd like to. I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina once. Um, we went for a bachelor party. Tell you what, that's not a bachelor party destination.
Doesn't seem like it.
We went to watch a bunch of other men play golf.
Yep.
That's what we did. I don't think I saw you, which hurt.
No, you'll see me soon.
No, wait. No, I saw you around. It was the cold time. It was like December or
Yeah,
January. You came to New York. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You'll
Yeah.
see me. You'll see me in a few months. You'll see me in a few months.
You saw me and a Puerto Rican girl hanging out.
That was an electric night for all of us. She tried to ignite a race war, which good for her. Who would have thought it wouldn't have been me?
Yeah,
But
and who'd have thought that she was calling a friend of yours wife, Puerto Rican wife, ghetto, when she herself is also Puerto Rican?
it'd be your own people. It'd be
Yeah,
your own people.
yeah, yeah. You know what? Other than that, been grinding on the stand up stuff. The TikTok following up to 4K on the talk.
Let's get those. Those are rookie numbers. We
I
gotta get those
know, I
numbers
know.
up.
As soon as I get done with this chatting with you, I'm gonna go live. And the majority of the time I go live and live stream on there for like an hour and a half at nighttime. The question I get the most is, how old are you? Are you single? What neighborhood do you live in? Now, you may think, wow, Franklin, you're getting a lot of love from the ladies. Oh no, those are all dudes.
It's okay.
Those are all dudes asking me, "Oh, are you New York based?"
You might
And
need
then
to.
they send me, here's in my experience as somebody with literally no internet fame, the way now I'm very appreciative of this, but the way gay dudes slide into your DMs, they start by a question. They say, "Hey, can I ask you something? Hey, do you mind I know this is weird. You can say no, but can I ask you something real quick?" That's how they've been sliding into the DMs. And the
Yeah.
question is going to be, "Are you gay?"
Mm,
That's the question that you're going
straight
to
to the
get.
point.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
tip the cap on that.
Yeah.
Other than getting hit on by dudes, uh I really really wanted to take time away from college football.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the off season. I got back really into soccer, season ticket holder for my local MLS team here in New
It's been
York.
very obnoxious. People won't tell you that to your face. I will, as a friend of the
Whoa.
It's been very obnoxious. It's been one of your worst things.
Picking up 3 points. Come on, lads.
People don't love it. People won't tell you that. I will, as a friend.
What's wrong with tweeting at 10 a.m.? Absolute utter disgrace. What's wrong with that?
I feel like you're aging, and I feel like some people pick up like craft beer, some people pick up whiskey. You picked up soccer. That's fine.
That was the
That's fine.
sport I was best at.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm just telling you.
And we're
We'll
gonna talk
revisit.
about we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about our athletic achievements because that's a question I want to get to
Yeah.
after this segment. But why don't you tell the people what you did this offseason?
I became a landed homeowner, so now I could vote. If this were the 1800s, it's fantastic for
Well, what
me.
about all those crimes you committed? You're still your record. It lets you.
Wiped,
You got
wiped,
that. You got that
wiped
expunged.
clean,
Okay,
expunged. A
good.
felon can vote now. Spread the message.
Okay,
It's fine. Wiped clean. Don't worry. Clean as a whistle. I can do whatever I want.
good.
Landed homeowner. I'm an established man, moving up, climbing the corporate ladder, climbing the landowning ladder. Just a huge come up for your boy. I feel like I'm becoming a man. I feel like I'm no longer a boy sitting at the big man's table, pushing people around, just making the big shots, shot caller. That's how
That's
I feel.
good.
Yeah, that's how I feel these days.
Yeah,
So
I don't think you've had it easy enough in life. I think you need more
I
adversity.
truly believe that I've walked the hardest road. So I continue to take the hardest path and blaze my own trail. So I appreciate you noticing that.
Yeah, yeah. What jersey do you have on right now? What is that?
I have an old ratty West Virginia jersey on, just something beat up that it's more of like a nightshirt, like something you'd see in like a Poe nightmare with like a candle. Just a ratty West Virginia jersey.
Now, would that be considered like a moo or like a tarp or
I mean, there's nicer ways to put it. I would just say it's like a 2XL jersey, but I mean, a meaner person would describe it as that.
now like if I got cold at nighttime, could I just put that over me?
Guaranteed. You
Okay.
could sleep in this comfortably.
Yeah.
You and maybe you and a girl less than a buck 20 could share this comfortably.
My
If that's
wheelhouse anyway.
yeah.
Anyways, I actually acquired a West Virginia jersey. It was a gift. I was a groomsman in a wedding. A wedding is somebody affiliated with West Virginia, and they had a bunch of old jerseys. Now these jerseys are from the Dana era, uh,
Dang it.
but they gave me one with the number I wore in high school football. Here's the
That's
thing:
fun.
it is a game issued, game used Nike football uniform. Game issued
Fair.
uniform game issued uniforms aren't necessarily good wearing uniforms for regular
Well,
people.
no.
No, this thing is a cocktail dress on me.
Yeah.
It is so tight on me, and my shoulders are popping out of the shoulders on this shirt are like popping out. I
Well,
look
yeah. Fair.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's not for it's for, strap it up, maybe play some flag football in the park every once in a while.
Yeah, put a little air in the
You
helmet, strap it up.
there's no segue for this, just other than that you would be a sicko wearing that. But I did go over, you did send me a little teaser of your future picks, and some of them were utterly disgusting. And I do want to get into some of them because I was looking over them, and I don't know how a sane person can use some of these as a
Yeah,
normal thing. So
yeah.
I do kind of want to see. I kind of want to see what you're thinking. I want to see where you're at with some of these. You have a lot of these. Are you going to pare some of these down for the pod? Are you going with all these? Are you going to give me your top five, top
Listen,
six?
I added more right before the pod because I thought we were supposed to do it tomorrow, and you go, "Hey, I have time to do it tonight." And I was
You're
like, "I'm not done
disgusting.
prepping. I'm not done prepping." And then so I went and I took my prep
Yep.
and and uh and I've added more picks. I have one question before we get into the futures.
Yes.
Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my dentist, Dr. Wilson, who listens to this pod. And when I went back
Shout out, doctor.
when I went back, dentists are real doctors. I don't care what anybody say. And when I went
Shout
back,
out.
he always makes time for me, and I made a little visit on the Fourth of July weekend, and he made time for me and my hygienist. I'm not going to say her name because she's
Yeah.
a private citizen, but she does a great job. I've been going to this dentist since like 2000 or like 99, and
Yeah.
he owns the practice now. It's his practice. He does a great job. He loves listening to the pod, and he loves you, big man. He loves you, and I was in the dental chair, fingers in my mouth, and he's asking me,
Awesome.
"What are you doing?" Yeah, big pause on that. He's asking me, "When's the pod coming back?" I said, "Oh." But we're here now, so hope you enjoy
Here.
it, Doc. And I got one quick question for you, Yinzer.
Yes.
So As we know, it's football season, and as we know, it's also high school football season.
Yeah.
Okay, you played, yes,
No. Rugby.
and I'm the pretentious one.
Yeah.
You played a European game, a South
Mhm.
African game, and I played high school football. Friday Night Lights strapped them up.
Strapped it up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of puts a hole in the boat. But what I was gonna say was, have you ever gotten coach speak? Now,
Oh
we
yeah.
listen to the preseason press
Oh yeah.
conferences. We
Oh yeah.
listen to all these press conferences. You know you're in for a bad season when a coach says this team is laying the groundwork for great teams to come.
Hmm.
And that's what my coach told me before our first game senior year.
It's not great.
We won 2 games.
That's low. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we laid
Foundation
the
building.
groundwork.
Yeah.
He was fired after a couple years, and then the next coach took him to like 2 state championship games. They lost him both, but he took him
Yeah.
to. And I was curious what your crowning achievement was in high school athletics. I thought you played football. We were going to talk football. We could. I know you coached high school football, but uh, we I want to know about your crowning athletic achievement or a classic coach speak thing that was told to you.
Um, I have no idea. I don't know. Do you really want to talk high school sports? I feel like that's a loser activity. Is that not
Okay,
where you want to go? Did you want to talk high school sports?
I did. Okay,
I feel like that's like I feel like that's what like I feel like that's what like the saddest guys I know in my life do. I feel like the biggest losers I know in my life go around talking about high school sports, but I'll entertain you. I'll do
no,
it if you want.
no, I do think it's funny that you're trying to Muhammad Ali the fact, and he's the question about have you done anything athletic in your life, and you're like, clown.
I played
That's a
basketball.
joke question. Hey Yinzer, what's the most athletic thing you've done? I don't know. Opened a bag of Oreos. That was pretty athletic.
I mean, I like if we want to talk, I don't know. I mean, I played basketball, I played rugby.
Have you dunked the basketball?
You know what it is? Do you want to hear something very Donald Trump-esque? Hands too fucking small. Can't palm a basketball. Truly, truly cannot do it. Truly cannot do it. Truly cannot.
I dunked a basketball one time, DuPont Park in West Virginia. I'll never forget.
One of my I've dunked I've dunked a volleyball like 15, 20 times. Can't palm a fucking basketball.
You don't have to necessarily palm it. You just have to jump higher than the rim.
You dude, I'm talking about like catching an oop.
No, just go up and then put it down. I mean, I have decent
Like
piano player hands, guitar player hands, but
I feel like a dunk you have to like actually like full on yam it over somebody.
okay.
No, never.
We
You're
really
bold.
learned a lot. Well, I learned a lot in this conversation.
I was a shooter, dude.
All right, I'll give you that at least.
I was a shooter. No. Also, you gotta understand the high school I went to, there was like 3 or 4 dudes that like were like 2 grades below me that were like 7 feet tall. Like you don't know how humbling it is to be like, I'm like 6'4", 6'5", and there's like a kid that's like 13. He's like 7 feet tall. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like learn the coach was like, learn to fucking shoot a three. I'm like, oh fuck.
3 ball corner pocket.
Pretty
Even
much.
ZF baby. All
Pretty
right,
much.
let's get to the preseason. I imagine we're probably going to have a lot more futures than we are week 0 picks. As a matter of fact, I think I only have 2. I don't even know if I want to give one out. It's so bad.
I have 3. I have 3 week 0 picks.
Okay, I might steal one from you because
That's
it's
fine.
bad.
I have
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 futures. How many do you have?
I have probably more than that, so I'll just give 6.
All right, I figured you'd have like 20. All right, we're gonna go.
It's a lot.
All right, I'll let you get started.
Okay. This was one of the first ones I played, and I really, really like this pick. This is to win the West Division. So basically to make the conference championship, if you can find that bet. And this is Texas State plus 260. That's to win the Sun Belt West. Texas State is returning an absolute juggernaut offensively. GJ Kinney could very well get that Baylor job if and when Dave Aranda gets fired in Waco. GJ Kinney could just get any job, really. And I remember him when he played at Tulsa. They used to rip Marshall's heart out, which was wild. But again, you're returning a running back that gained 6 yards a carry, 1,300 yards. You're returning your top receiver, arguably your top 2 receivers. The top running back is Ishmael Mahdi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. If he's like from the movie Dune, he's the Mahdi, which means he's like the savior, which is cool. I don't think that's how you say it though. Joey Hobart, the top receiver, 8 touchdowns. Cole Wilson, another top receiver, 8 touchdowns. And the big thing, this defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. There's no way it could get worse. That's my mindset. And two, they have a quarterback now named Jordan McLeod. Does that name sound familiar? Yes or yes? He probably played on your team. This is his fourth school in like 5 years. Most recently, he was at James Madison, where he was first team All Sun Belt, decided not to go or wasn't asked to go to Indiana to play Power 3, Power 4 football, and is now in the same conference at Texas State. And he's very dynamic, and he can run, and he can throw successfully. And I'm very much looking forward to watching Texas State.
That's just a disgusting. I mean, whatever people we did have, as soon as I heard Texas State was your first pick out of the gate, just immediately just switched over to Joe Rogan or whatever the fuck else. But congrats on
You're going
on
full
Texas
Jim
State.
Rome. You're going full Jim Rome today.
Yeah, congrats on Texas State plus 260 as your heater out of the barn. I'm gonna go to a power conference because that's what people come.
D-line much improved.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. So this one actually, I do feel kind of bad because this one shifted a bit. I actually bet this in like late July. It's moved to 8.5. I don't know if I'd bet at 8.5, but I'm gonna give it anyway. So I'm gonna give it a tepid, just kind of recommendation. It was 8 when I got it. It's 8.5. It's Virginia Tech over 8 wins.
Okay.
There is certainly 8 wins on this. I'm gonna go down the schedule real quick. Vanderbilt, Marshall, Old Dominion, Rutgers, Miami, Stanford, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Clemson, Duke, Virginia. Virginia Tech should be one of the most improved wins, most improved teams in the country. I see 10 wins on that schedule. I easily see 9. So that 8.5, I'm not telling you it's a stay away. At 8, I think the absolute worst you're doing is getting your money back. So call it a long-term loan for you. But at 8.5, especially with some juice, you got to get there. That's a little more risky. But Drones, that's going to be his first full year healthy under center. I love it at 8. If you had to pay a little more juice, maybe a 160 at 8, I would still take it.
Okay.
8.5, you get a minus 110. I would still consider it, but Vanderbilt, yes. Marshall, yes. ODU, yes. Rutgers, yes. Miami, toss up. Stanford, yes. BC, yes. Georgia Tech, yes. Syracuse, yes. Clemson, no. Duke, yes. Virginia, probably a yes. So Virginia Tech, probably out of the ACC, is going to be one of my dark horse ACC winners. So I really like that schedule. I see that as a 9 or 10 win team. Virginia Tech over 8 is a absolute steal. That was one of my first big bets in like June or July when the schedules came out. So
yeah,
250.
I really like. So Grant Wells was a starter. He's from Charleston, West Virginia, and he respectfully stunk. And I don't even think he's on a roster anymore, even though he does have eligibility.
Yeah, he's pretty terrible.
He's nowhere. As far as I'm concerned. And their new quarterback, also dynamic. And this defense has really turned some things around. They kind of got that old school lunch pail defense. So that's a good pick. A lot of people are on Vautech.
Yeah.
We're going back to the well. This is a 2-unit. I got a 2-unit future for you. This is UMass under 3.5 wins. Now, UMass, I respect them for trying to portal. It doesn't mean good things. They won 3 games last year, and I got to be honest with you. I see 2 wins. I see 2 wins on here, and they're your FCS games. Your Central Connecticut and Wagner. Other than that, good luck, dude. You guess this is their last 4 games of the year. Okay? Actually, let's do that. I hate totally playing the schedule game, but I'm going to play a little bit.
Oh,
Eastern Michigan at home. That is a rock fight. Chris Creighton and Eastern Michigan want to play you on concrete. I think they win that. And then next week they play at Toledo. That's arguably the best team in the MAC. That's a loss. Then they play at Buffalo. That's a loss. And then they play Central Connecticut. You get your win. Congratulations. Then they play at Miami of Ohio, the best team in the MAC. That's a loss. At Northern Illinois, one of the best teams in the MAC. That's a loss. Here we go. Missouri, loss. Wagner, win. At Mississippi State, loss. Liberty, loss. At Georgia, loss.
Huge loss.
Close the year out with your rival UConn, who is better than you. That is a loss.
Can't find them.
Where do you see 4 wins? Not on this schedule. I am happy that UMass is getting into a conference. I think that will give them more structure. I think that's good for them as a program. They're teasing it this year with playing like 4 or 5 or 4 5 MAC teams. Not really returning a lot of production. I'm gonna be honest. Not really returning a lot of production. Your top receiver's still there. You have a couple of high tackle guys on defense. It's just I don't know. It's just not good. 2 units.
Can I go to my next one? I'm going to go to my favorite play. And this one, it looks so good. It almost feels trappy, but
Wow.
I can't believe that this one is plus money. It's hovered. It got as high as plus 130 during the summer. It's hovering around even money to plus 110. You can still get it at plus 110 on some books, which I just don't think the public is adjusting to it. The playoff is how many teams this year? It's how many teams?
12.
In what fucking universe is Alabama not a top 12 team this year?
Wow.
In what universe is Bama, especially with the media bias, the Bama bias, in what year is Bama not sneak in at a top 12? They were trying to put Bama in last year. In what year does Bama not finish in a 12-team playoff plus 110? They're still bringing back some studs. They're still bringing back Milroe. I know Saban's gone. I think that's getting a little bit overrated. Not saying that Saban's not one of the best ever. They're bringing a new offense. They are still bringing back studs. They're still reloading. I was thinking this was going to be at a minus 175, minus 190. At plus 110, I'm getting pretty much you're telling me it's a coin flip that I can get Alabama at plus money to be one of the top 12 teams in the country to get in a playoff spot. And even if you're telling me that Bama could be at a 9-win team, they're going to get in. I'll take that all day. I can't believe it's at that number. I really like that. I think Milroe takes a big step, and I think Bama, even with a couple of losses, sneaks into that back end of that playoff. So give me that all day.
There
Love
we
that
go.
play. Love that play.
New DC, former South Alabama head coach Kane Womack. Excited to see that. Number 1 special teams unit in the country.
Yep.
For those curious. I don't know, man. I'm curious to see how Milroe adjusts to this new offense because he's not Michael Penix.
He's not Michael Penix, but he's still big arm, big talent. And Alabama, if anything, you're still going to have blue chippers all over the field. And like I said, I don't need him to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to be in that top 12. And I don't think there's year in, year out, there's 11 teams better than Alabama year in, year out. So give that to me, especially at that money.
This one, spite pick.
Pitt under?
No.
Okay.
Under 5.5 at plus 115. Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah, we got burned last year.
We got screwed last year. Had TCU actually turned their brain on, that would have been a winner. Because the rest of the year, they played the way they should have played.
Which we thought.
That was like lightning in a bottle against TCU, who had lost their entire team after coming off a national championship. It was just a terrible situation to be in. Again, O-line, D-line, major issues. Receiver, issues. I know you have arguably one of the best receivers, if not the best. You have arguably the best player in college football, Travis Hunter. I love Travis Hunter. I think Shedeur Sanders is very talented and will play in the NFL. You have an entire team around these guys, though. They don't exist. That's just not a thing. So, yeah, you call it spiteful like I just did, but it's also a fact of the matter. This team is just not built to compete with this Big 12 schedule in a league that's kind of wide open. I just don't see it happening. Let's take a look at their schedule real quick. I mean, there's previews that have them finishing behind Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's not good. Finishing behind Baylor, and Baylor's not good. You're starting off the year, you very well, like, they're saying this about Penn State coming to West Virginia, but I'm going to say this now. They're playing North Dakota State week 1. You are stepping on a hornet's nest.
Yep.
I don't know why your AD would want to play this factory or the factory in North Dakota State. Then you play at Nebraska, who's upset that you beat them last year. I was on the right side of that, by the way. That was my big week 2 when I was in North Carolina and fired off all my bets in LaGuardia Airport and put up a monster day. Matt Rule, I think, has really, really improved this Nebraska team. You got a true freshman quarterback. I'm excited to see them play. Then you have your back-to-back. So you have your North Dakota State, maybe a loss, and then your back-to-back road games, which are at Nebraska, maybe a loss, and then at Colorado State, who remembers what happened last year when they took you to the limit and lost in double overtime. And then you get into actual Big 12 play, and it doesn't get easier from there. I think the only let up spot for them, they have Cincinnati and they have Baylor at home. Thank God you have that. I'm very, very excited to watch November 16th. Utah comes to town, and I'm excited to see them just get
Yeah,
blown out.
Utah's got to stop them.
Yeah. So that's about it. You have yeah, you have Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders. That's it. Sorry.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go to my next one. This one I actually really like. I think this team's gonna be 5-0 out of the gate.
Okay.
Indiana over 5.5 wins.
Okay, I like that.
Signetti coming. I think this team they're going to struggle in the back half. The back half of the season is going to get tough. If you tell me Indiana has 8 wins, I think that's not going to shock me.
Yeah.
This schedule lines up pretty nice for them. It allows a new coach to build a lot of momentum early. They're going to take their licks at the end of the year, but by then they're going to have momentum. A lot of teams are going to be quitting. Maryland, UCLA, you're going to see a lot of teams quitting on that back half of the schedule. They might be able to steal one or two of those.
Mm-hmm.
But a very, very weak early schedule. Indiana's going to be ready to go. They're going bowling. They're getting that over 5.5 wins. I don't think that's priced right. And that one jumped out pretty quick. So give me the Hoosiers over 5.5. They're going bowling against Cincinnati. So I think that's a very, very good one. But that's my next one. And then the next, after this last one, the next ones are all going to be leans for me. So those are my 3 strongest out of the gate, and the rest are going to be leans.
I really like that pick, Yinzer.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Signetti is a good program builder. I really wanted him at West Virginia. Had things gone terrible with Neal, but they didn't, so we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those JMU guys came to Indy, and then they got a lot of other transfers as well.
Yep.
So curious to see what goes on there. I guess I got a lot of. I should be invited to the player haters ball with all these unders I have. So I have another under. And we're staying in the Big 12. It's under 3.5 wins for Houston, and that's plus 116. It's just rebuild time.
Yeah.
You don't go from Dana Holgerson total air raid to Willie Fritz modified triple option without having major growing pains. Your non-cons are UNLV, Oklahoma, Rice. That's not good. Who else is your non-con? Do you only have 3? Oh, well, they have that weird thing. I think they're playing somebody in a non-con that's an actual game or something like that, but they're in the Big 12. I think they're doing one of those. I think it's Baylor. That's like a non-con, but they're in the same conference. Either way, UNLV, arguably one of the best teams in G5. I can speak about them later because I have a pick for them later. Rice is no slouch, and Oklahoma is going to blow the doors off of them.
Yeah.
So there is potential that they lose all that. They play bad teams in the Big 12 on the road. They play at Cincinnati. They play at BYU. I feel like if you're Houston, you're going to want them at home. And you didn't get them at home. The only big thing is you're returning Donovan Smith. He's a transfer quarterback. He can run a little bit. That's about it. They did lose a running back recently. That was for a West Virginia guy, but it's nothing crazy. I like to highlight teams that have Australian punters, and they have one. Liam Daughtry, I don't know, Daughtry. Liam Daughtry? Whatever. That's my next pick. On to you.
All right, I'm going to zoom through these because I want to make sure we do some week 0 time. So I'm going to go through my next one. This last one is a play. The next couple are going to be leans. Okay. Jackson Dart over 24.5 passing touchdowns. Okay. He's going to be thrown all over the yard. I think he gets to 30. He had 23 last year with some injuries, banged up a little bit. He's going to have over 25. I think he easily gets over 30. Jackson Dart over 24.5. Easy play. I've already hammered that. My next couple, West Virginia over 6.5 wins.
There we go.
Got it. Give me the Mountaineers. 8 or 9 wins are bust for them. The final one that I have, and I've gone back and forth over this, I'm probably going to scratch it. I haven't played it yet. Nebraska over 7.5 wins. I really like it at 7. 7.5 is going to be tough. I think it ends up at 7. The schedule looks nice. The team should be good. Second year, a lot better for them. I think they end up at 7 wins, but I would rather play forced at 7.5. I'm going to take the over instead of the under with that team, just because I really like what they're building there. But that's a lead for me with Nebraska over 7.5. But like I said, I see that as a 7-5, 7-5 season. So lean, slight lean. If you have to play it, play the over. But with the juice, I'm not going to. But recap for me: Virginia Tech over 8. Play it at 8.5 if you have to. Alabama to make the playoff at plus 110. Absolutely hammer that. Jackson Dart over 24.5 passing touchdowns. Hammer that. Indiana over 5.5 wins. Hammer that. And the West Virginia Mountaineers over 6.5 wins. Hammer that. And Nebraska over 7.5. Lean on that. Frankie, take us home with yours, and then we'll hit up some week 0.
Okay. Again, I got the hater going on. So I got under 4.5 wins for UCLA. That's plus 118. Your non-cons are at Hawaii. Hawaii will already have a game under their belt, and I'm really high on Hawaii this year. I think another year of the run and shoot. I think there's a lot of chemistry with the receivers this year. And Braden Schrager. I really like him at Hawaii. So you're opening at Hawaii. Good luck on the Big Island. Then you play Indiana, who Yinzer's high on. Then you play at LSU, Death Valley. Though that's your non-cons. You could pitch to me that they go 0-3, and then they get into the Big Ten, and that's not good. They close out the year with a win, probably with Fresno State at home, but you need 5. I don't think they got it. ECU over 6.5 plus 102. Yenzer, write that down for me. This is a turnaround team. Remember a couple years ago when Tulane went from 2-10 to 10-2?
Yep.
Don't be surprised if something that crazy happens with ECU.
What was the number again?
6.5. All the pieces are in play for them to really improve. I like that program. I got to go to a game at the stadium last year. I like the stuff that Mike's got going on down there. Okay. Let me give you 2 more, and then we can get into week 0. I just want to give you the right 2. Am I allowed to give 3?
Give them.
Okay, we'll do them in quick succession. Kansas State plus 150 to make the Big 12 championship game. No explanation needed. Under 2.5, minus 120. Temple wins. This could be the worst team in college football. And if you know anything about me in the 3 seasons or 2 seasons that you've listened to this show, I'm looking not necessarily about how good the teams are, it's how bad are the other teams. And Temple is one of those bad other teams. I don't even know how they have a football program. Okay, and then the last one, I told you I was going to tease it, and here we are. I have a conference winner. A conference winner that I'm really high on. A conference winner, if you have Bet Rivers, that you can get at plus 600. Folks, I have the UNLV running Rebs. The go-go offense. It's a go-go, okay? Fresno State lost their coach very late in the cycle. Boise State has just announced that, what's his name, Miller Moss or Mason Miller, or whatever his name is not going to win the starting job. No. Malachi Nelson. Sorry, got it wrong. Malachi Nelson is not going to win the starting job. He was a former top prospect. He's not going to win the starting job. And it's now going to be Maddox Madsen. He had 9 touchdowns and 3 picks last year and a 60% completion percentage. Pretty mediocre. I don't have faith in Boise this year. Their defense does look all right. But it's all about the go-go offense with Barry Odom. I'm really, really high on this team. They're returning a lot of talent on defense even, and their basically entire receiving core is back on offense. They do have to change a quarterback, but I think it's just a plug-and-play system. Plus 600, UNLV wins the Mountain West. Now let's talk week 0.
Let's do it. You want me to? You got any? What's your first week 0 play?
My first week 0 play. It's a principal play.
Let's hear it.
And I told you I was high on these guys a little bit ago. I got Hawaii minus 39.5.
Just laying it
against Delaware State. Okay. I told you I liked the fact that the chemistry with the receiving core and the quarterback is there with Braden Schrager and Steve McBride and Ashlock and all these guys. I saw a receiver for Hawaii shave the big islands, all the islands into his head, a la Colt Brennan. May he rest in peace. Love when the Bows are doing that. Also, this defense not normally good, but they have improved in the last 2 years under Timmy Chang. Year 1, they gave up 34 points a game. Year 2, they gave up 32 points a game. So we do that again. You give up 30 points a game. Hey, we'll take it.
How many
Their linebacking core is going to be the strength of this defense, and you're absolutely going to need something to lean on defense when you could potentially go 3-and-out all the time.
How many units?
One.
One.
Yeah, not feeling good about week 0.
All right. I'm going to start us off. I'm going to start with my first 1-unit play. I'm going to go to Georgia Tech, Florida State. Haynes King, anytime to score. It's plus 115, 1-unit play. 10 touchdowns last year. When they get in the red zone, they're going to look for him. Probably with his arm, most likely with his legs, but plus 110. I don't expect a huge scoring game, which is going to tie into my next thing. But I like him near the red zone. I think he's going to use his legs. But at plus 115, kind of like that 1-unit play. Something a little fun, little freaky. Plus 110, 1-unit play, Haynes King, anytime touchdown to score. Let's do that.
I like that.
Let's do that.
My other one, you got to call me OJ Simpson the way I have this juice.
The juice.
It is juice to the gills. But this is the welcome back college football. Let's just enjoy the day parlay.
Let's hear it.
Parleezy. Florida State, money line. Montana State in an FCS upset, money line. It's not really an upset. You're 12-point favorites against a brand new Bronco Mendenhall, New Mexico team. Florida A&M beating Norfolk State. That's an FCS matchup. That's an HBCU matchup. Norfolk State's one of the worst teams in FCS. And then closing it out with SMU money line. That's minus 160. Put on whatever you want to put on it. Okay. I don't even know what would be deemed comfortable for you. I put way more than I would be happy to say. So let's just say 1 unit. Just Yinzer, put on whatever it is to get me to win 1 unit.
I'm going to put on 1.6 units for you.
Yes, thank you.
1.6 units.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You have any more plays for this week? Because I got 2 more.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to your 2.
All right. My next 1-unit play is a first half play. It's SMU minus 14 in the first half. It's minus 125, but I feel like I'm allowed to. I feel like I'm anything below minus 120, so I'm going to fudge a little bit.
Yeah, I put a minus 160 on the lock in week 0. Do whatever you want.
That's what I figured. We got to be a little creative, but
do whatever you want.
Minus 14, minus 125. I like that number. I agree with Frank. I think SMU rolls them up. I think it might get a little bit closer than the spread at that high number in the second
Nevada
half.
could be one of the worst teams in the country. I want you to know that.
Yeah, but I'm going to take – I don't want to sweat it out. I think SMU comes to play the first half. First game should be juiced up. Minus 14, easy. This is my favorite play of the week. I have a couple C notes on this one.
Okay.
FSU minus 3 with the under 63.5. So that is a 7-point teaser parlay. That is a 2-unit play for me.
Are you teasing yourself that early in the day?
I love it. I love it. I want to start the day in Ireland with a winner. 4-leaf clover already shoved up my ass.
Teasing yourself. Are you going to be doubling? If you're teasing yourself, you might be doubling.
I will be doubling in more ways than one.
That's right.
FSU minus 3, under 63.5. Both of these teams running the ball. Tick, 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 tick. FSU's not going to lose. I don't think Georgia Tech is going to be throwing it all over the yard. I don't think FSU with DJU is going to be throwing it all over the yard.
How high is the grass in Dublin, you think? You think they grew it up?
I think
slowing them down?
I think it's going to be taller than a fucking leprechaun. So I think it's going to be, like I said, both these teams are going to try to keep it close. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. Usually these Ireland games are a little bit closer than they both pretty sloppy. So I think we're going to see like a Florida State, maybe like a 28-17, maybe like a 30-14 game. But I don't think we're going to get close to the total. I don't think we're going to get close to the number, but why not have a little comfort? Why not win some 2-unit winners right out of the gate? And then we can piss away our money next week on week 1. But I really like those plays for week 0.
We're running out of time. We're running out of time.
We're already out?
We're almost out.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Let's hammer those plays, but get some futures. Frankie, final question. Who's going to win the national